guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to UpOnIt. I am Charlene and today I am going to be talking about work experience for those of you in sixth form who are primarily interested in law or financial services. So by financial services I mean kind of banking and accountancy. Those of you guys interested in those two areas are only interested purely out of just love for the career and the subject and nothing to do with money. You're not money motivated, those of you interested in banking and law, never. So that's what this video is going to be about today. I think I mentioned in my previous video that I studied law and I did have work experience, but I don't think I understood the importance of getting work experience until way later. So hopefully you guys from this video will understand that work experience is not just a plus, but it's kind of really helpful in order for you to progress in your career. And if you can get work experience in sixth form, that is a big plus as well. So I will be doing a video later on for those interested in kind of medicine, STEM subjects, media for example, at a later date. So why is work experience even important? I think firstly it shows that you are determined and you are focused. So it shows that you're thinking ahead, you are kind of, okay, this is what I'm interested in and I'm doing everything I possibly can to learn more about the subject. And of course employers or admissions tutors or even your teachers are going to love that. So make sure that you are demonstrating that you are interested in the subject and that you are determined by getting work experience. Secondly, it helps you know whether or not you actually want to pursue that as a career. So I think it's just as important to know what you don't want to do as it is important to know what you do want to do. And sometimes even knowing what you don't want to do helps you just eliminate that, and then you can narrow it down and then you can pick what it is that you like. The first time I went into a magistrate's court, I was like, this is maybe not for me. And I don't know whether it's because it was magistrate's court or whether it was just because it was a court, but I just was like, no. Also, I think it gives you an advantage in that you are able to learn how to work in a professional environment. So you know how to talk to people, you'll learn how people talk to each other, how people relate to each other in a professional environment. Of course, that's different from being at school, being with your friends, your teachers, or people who you know and are very comfortable with. So I think it definitely gives you an edge and it gives you a skill that you can build on in the future. So now moving on to financial services. So firstly, I think it's important if you are interested in financial services to know exactly what type of financial services you are interested in. So for example, I've met a lot of students who are interested in investment banking, or say they're interested in investment banking, and you're like, okay, so what do you mean by that? And they're not really sure, they just know that they have watched maybe Wolf of Wall Street and really liked how that was. And obviously there are some environments that are like the Wolf of Wall Street, but most places are not. So I think it's important for you to know what the differences are between retail banking and private banking, what's merger and acquisition, what's forex trading. So make sure that you have an understanding of the terms, and then you can really understand what it is that you want to do, or what it is that you think you want to do. So if you can kind of do a bit of research about the different lines of business and banking or financial services, I think that will definitely give you an advantage when it comes to looking for work experience, because you can specify it. So with financial services, one thing I would say is that not every firm offers work experience. So a great organisation that kind of looks at different firms and works with different firms that offer work experience is the Brokerage City Link. So they are a charity that work with young people who don't have links in the city to basically link them up with someone who works in the city in financial services and banking and investment management, asset management, whatever it is that you're interested in. So you can apply to be on one of those programs and you'll get work experience as well as other support as well. So I would definitely suggest looking at the Brokerage City Link. They kind of specialise in that. So it's a program, and on that you can get work experience and other support as well. And then more specifically, I would also say look at EY Smart Futures. They are a great program. It lasts typically about 3 weeks in the summertime, and you can kind of rotate in different departments and you get the theory, you learn about what it is that accountants do, what people in professional services do. So EY Smart Futures is a great program. I think if you do well on that program, you can actually end up coming back on their like formal internship programs. So definitely have a look at EY Smart Futures. And then also KPMG Discovery Program, which I think is fantastic. So that's a week long during the summer, and basically what that does is it also gives you kind of the theory, but you also get to work shadow as well. So you will have some time where you work shadow and you see what accountants are actually doing, and they teach you the differences between audit and tax and advisory in accountancy and professional services. So I think definitely if you can get a work experience that has a balance of work shadow and also kind of gives you the theory behind everything, I think that's perfect. So make sure you're looking for that. It's best to kind of get a blend of both. If you're unsure, you can always call up the firm and ask to speak to someone who runs the program. And then I would also suggest having a look at Grant Thornton's work experience programs. So they're fantastic because they actually don't really focus too much on grades. They do it differently. They focus more on potential. So they have a look at what your drive is, how interested you are in working in professional services. They look at what skills you have, not necessarily just kind of do you have A grades. And some other organisations will definitely kind of want you to have A's or B's. Grant Thornton's are definitely more focused on, you know, your potential, your interest, your drive. So I think that's, for that, it's a great something. And then now we move on to getting work experience if you're interested in law. So I have personal experience with this, as I mentioned, and one of the first things I'd say is to look local. So you can call up your local law offices and see if they'll have you in maybe once every 2 weeks for a couple of months, or even just kind of 2 days for a week, just to see what they do, get familiar with it. And then you can also walk into courts, literally. There are public galleries available if you want to go to court and watch a case. I wouldn't advise going to a magistrate's court because that's a little bit boring, but you can go to kind of the Old Bailey. You can go to kind of more a senior level courts. The cases are more interesting, and you never know, you might get put on the news. So yeah, definitely have a look at courts and public galleries. You literally can just walk in and you can see how the court system works, how barristers are in court as well. And then if you go to a state school, I would suggest having a look at the Prime initiative. So Prime is basically a commitment or an initiative that 89 law firms across the UK have created to make sure that they are providing equal access, fair opportunities for students who don't have connections in the legal field. So if your parents haven't been to university, or maybe you've received free school meals, you should be eligible to be on a Prime work experience. So what you can do is when you go on the Prime website, you can click on, there's a link, and it basically, if you go through it, it will show you all of the offices, maybe even close to you, that offer work experience under Prime. And so that's about 1 week work experience, and you will get to shadow, you get some theory as well, and it has some incredible law firms that have signed up to Prime. So Magic Circle firms like Clifford Chance and Linklaters, Baker Mckenzie, really kind of high profile, well known law firms. So definitely check out Prime. And then you can also have a look at the Aspiring Professionals program by the Social Mobility Foundation. So this organisation actually works with 11 different sectors, 11 different career sectors, so including banking, business, accountancy and law. And with that, it's not just work experience you get a mentor as well, and then you also get kind of skill sessions and prep for university. So it's a fantastic program. So I would definitely recommend having a look at the Social Mobility Foundation programs if you want extra support in your career interest and not just the work experience, and their kind of support continues on as well. So guys, those are some of the programs and organisations I would suggest having a look at. So drop any comments below. You feel free to email me again at stayinguponit@gmail.com, on Instagram at stayinguponit, Facebook you can like the page at stayinguponit, and I will see you next week. Remember to have a look at these websites. I'm going to put